videos, and today I have two of my closest friends here with me.
I'm Jemiah.
And
I'm Ava.
And today we're going to be speaking on a serious topic, talking about Black Lives Matter. And here on my paper, if you see me looking down, it's because I have a couple of questions to help navigate, right? Yeah, how the video goes. So, yeah. So do y'all want to start or do y'all want me to start?
You can start.
Okay.
Questions.
So, how do you feel about everything that is happening in this world right now?
Ava.
Okay, well, I feel like this has obviously always been an issue in this country, but I feel like now is the time that people are really getting fed up. It's been like way too long that Black people are being like constantly mistreated by the people that are supposed to be protecting us. So it's nothing new, but I feel like it's just gotten like so extreme, and now everybody has the platform. Technology is so much more advanced, so we can get like our voices out there. So I feel like now in this day and age, like it's a time that we can bring more awareness to this issue.
Definitely.
Yeah. I agree with what Ava said. Like, it's been happening for a long time. And I think now, especially in our generation, we're getting to the point where we don't take any mess, or like, we're fed up. And it's a different like generation. We're more outspoken, I would say, than previous generation. We're more about action. So, and I guess the people are not really used to that. And so for us to stand out, it's like, why is everybody's coming out now kind of stuff. So it's just like hard to be like, in times right now.
Exactly. For sure. I agree with both of y'all, because it's just like social media, though it could be so negative, it's also so positive because it raises like more awareness of stuff that is like going on. Now it's just so common now to just see a Black man or woman being killed by a police officer, as before they did that stuff but it was hidden. But like y'all said, with the advancement of technology, it's just like nothing is hidden no more. And now it's making us know that, wow, like Black lives really don't matter. Like we knew it before, but actually seeing it, because we heard about this stuff, it's not like it was happening in front of us, but now everything is so like on TV, on social media. It's like you can't hide away from it.
Also, I think it's like kind of messed up because before, a lot of this stuff wasn't even being recorded. Like now it's being recorded. We're seeing with our own eyes what's happening. But before, like people weren't even, we knew it was happening, but there's like there's no proof, there's no evidence or stuff like that. So I feel like now, like everybody can actually be aware. You can't say like, oh well, I didn't see it, so I didn't know. Everybody's seen it. So you can't just turn a blind eye to something like that. It's one thing when you're not aware of it, you're not seeing it for yourself, but everybody sees what's happening now.
Exactly. And that makes you think, like, because it wasn't like, not a lot of technology back then, how much like murders did go like, unsolved or under the rug because people didn't believe him. Oh, he was just a Black man being suspicious, or a Black woman being suspicious. And they just got killed for no reason, with no evidence, no proof, no nothing. So now we have technology. It's easier to see like who was at fault here, what's being done. And it's like I know police officers have body cams or whatever, but that's honestly like they don't have to submit that in them. They can say, oh, my body cam wasn't working. They can turn that off. So, but with technology and cameras being out there, we can see like both points of view. We can see what's actually happening from the eyes of the viewer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what does Black lives mean to y'all? Like,
so for me, I think the way I think about like the whole like movement, Black Lives Matter movement, is just trying to get like our voices out there, trying to say like we can't just turn a blind eye to this. This is something that matters. This is something that should matter to everybody, not just Black people.
Exactly.
Because when the whole all lives matter comes in, when people say Black Lives Matter, that can't happen if Black lives don't matter.
Exactly.
So the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like it's just us saying like we're fed up. We deserve the same rights as other people. Minorities or not, because we're all people. We bleed the same. We're all the same. Your skin color shouldn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with what it was saying. Like, to me, Black Lives Matter is just just that. It's not saying that only Black lives matter. It's saying that we matter too. We matter on top of the white lives, everybody lives. Like, we matter too. Like, and can we be included in the all lives matter? You can't say all lives matter without saying Black lives matter. And I think people I think we're saying that only Black lives matter, and we're not saying that at all, because that's the same thing as saying as like blue lives matter. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that only they matter, but like, we have to include everybody in the same category. And it's just like, we're tired of being, you know, stuck under the road. We're tired of being hurt. We're tired of being talked less than, tired of like taking less promotions, tired of taking a lesser job because it's all we can get. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we have to be included in society. We can't just be like the people who take the front jobs. You know, we have to be the CEOs, be the presidents. We have to be the, like, you know, corporate office. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Black Lives Matters means, so we can be able to have those higher positions and not get criticized for them.
Exactly, for sure. And I feel like, you know, with the thing you said about how, like, especially white people, I feel like they just think that we're trying to say, oh, that they're racist. Right. You know, like, we understand that y'all wasn't here back in the day when they had slaves and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you still have that skin color that helps saves people. Yeah, it's like white privilege, you know, believe it or not, you have it. They're not saying like, oh, you never been through anything, because, you know, everybody, they have to work for what they have, but it's just
that you get off more than
exactly. Right. It's just like, example, if a police officer sees you, he's not gonna think, oh my gosh, my life is endangered. But if you're a Black man or woman, like, they're gonna think, oh, if you're reaching in your back pocket, you must have a gun.
Right.
You feel me? So it's just like, you have to use that privilege, like, use your platforms and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, they listen to y'all. They don't listen to us, because when they see us as a threat. Right. You know, believe it or not, that's just how it is. Right. So if you want to have that respect and stuff like that, you over here saying that, oh, you're not racist, it has nothing to do with you, that's very narrow-minded. Right. Like, you need to be more open-minded, because this is affecting everybody. There's no hate. We want everybody to be equal, but like they said, until Black lives matter, all lives have to matter. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that. Right. You know. So
and then I would go as far as saying, like, not even like equality, we need equity. Like, you know, like, this bump equality, because equality is getting everybody the same thing. But we need, like, to stop having obstacles in our way. Like, think about it, like, white kid, they can have a straight shot to college, yada yada, anything, right? But for Black kids, you may have, like, oh, pulled by the cops, you may go to jail, there's obstacle course, you may have to have Jim Crow laws, you may have to have systemic oppression, you know what I'm saying? You have all these, like,
which is
all
why
these
more
obstacles.
Black people are, like, in gangs and stuff like
We
that.
have all these, like, obstacles in our past to keep us from running the race. We all have the opportunity to run the race, but it's like, what's in our, like, path that's blocking us from getting to the finish line? Exactly. Those need to go away. Like, we have equality. We have the same, like, we have, like, the same path, everybody's taking the same life, we have the same life, you know what I'm saying? We just need to stop putting roadblocks in front of our Black people.
Right. Okay, so do you believe in what the Black Lives Organization stand for? I'll go. To let y'all think. For me, I would say personally no. And of course, I'm all for the Black Lives Matter movement, but just reading about the policy stuff that the Black Lives Organization stand for, as a Christian, I don't stand for that. You know, I don't support people that are gay, transgender. I'm not against it, but that's like against my beliefs, if y'all get what I'm saying. But of course, I'm not saying that, oh, then they shouldn't have any rights, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. Exactly. You know, God looks at us all the same. No sin is more superior to other sins, but it's just like, I feel like as a Christian, I can't support something that God goes against, because it's like I'm putting that above what God says. Right. And it could be very contradicting, because it's just like, some people think that you're saying that, like,
well, their lives don't matter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm saying. So
I agree with you saying. I'm a Christian as well, and like, you know, that's what the Bible says. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to go against the Bible and their teaching, but at the same time, if you are, you know, gay, transgender, I'm not saying that, oh no, you don't deserve any rights, or I hate you. I'm not saying like any of that. I'm saying that you know, I love you because you are a person, and I'm not going to like judge me in type of way because my sin is not greater than your sin either. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But as a Black Lives Matter movement, I support certain parts of that movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for everybody having equal rights. I'm all for everybody, you know, getting the same pay, same wages. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular movement, I support only certain topics.
Yeah.
For me personally, when I heard about like the whole Black Lives Matter organization, just set aside from the movement, I never thought about like the individual stuff they supported. When I thought about it, I literally, I don't know if it's narrow-minded, but I literally thought it's just about Black Lives Matter, you know, in the country. I didn't think about like each individual part. I remember I watched a video and he was basically pulling apart like what was on their website, and it kind of gave me a different point of view, because I was just like, of course I support the organization,
right?
But at the same time, like they were saying, from like a religious point of view, there's some stuff that I just can't support,
Right?
and that doesn't mean it's not important to other people. I feel like the whole movement as a whole is still important, but there's just some parts of the organization that just, it doesn't go well with me, in my opinion.
Right.
Sure.
I understand. But we love y'all though.
Yes, exactly. Everybody, like, we're I don't know.
You can love people and not support their decisions.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. It's just like God be saying, like, he don't hate the person, he just hates the sin. You know, he hates the sin. Because,
exactly.
Yeah. But okay, so how do you feel about protesting?
I see both sides of it, because if it's protesting peacefully, and I know like a lot of stuff was like turned in the media, they're saying, well, these people were provoking this, which started the looting, whatever. But for me, I don't see a problem with protesting if you have like the right intentions behind it. I feel like some people can go in with like such, and I feel like this whole situation can make it so easy to become so angry from it. I mean, people of color, Black people are being killed by people who are supposed to protect us.
Tired.
And it's easy to become angry, and I see how that anger can turn into violence so easily.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you go in with that mindset, I feel like it's not protesting anymore. You're not really protesting. You're just igniting more violence. And I don't
then you
think
become selfish. To me, I just look at it as a selfish way.
Right. So I mean, protesting with the right intentions, if you're going out there, and I know that's majority of the people, they go out there with their signs protesting Black Lives Matter, Black people, white people, everybody, they're doing that. So I feel like it really just depends on why you're doing it, you know? If you're going out there knowing you're gonna go start violence, thinking that's gonna make stuff better, then no, I wouldn't support that part. But protesting, peacefully protesting, getting your voice heard out there, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay, I have one more question for you. Okay, so do you think Christians should protest?
I don't know. I don't see a wrong in protesting, because it's standing up for what you believe in. But then again, I feel like that goes back to like the whole Black Lives Matter organization versus the movement, you know what I'm saying? So if I were protesting, it would be simply like my definition, protesting so that Black voices are heard, so that we're being treated equally.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I think you should do whatever you can to get your voice out there.
Exactly.
But have the right intentions behind it.
Right.
You know. And I mean, stuff happens. You could go out there with the mindset of peacefully protesting, and then you get egged on somehow.
Yeah,
that's possible. For sure. Yeah.
About you, Jemiah?
I agree. You know, to me, I think protest is a good thing. It's just a thin line between protest and riots. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes situations can make the two like blend. You know what I'm saying? I saw a video of it was like supposed to be like, you know, a protest, and then it had flipped it where the protesters became rioters, you know. That's all the actual video, and it was like the police started the, you know, thing first where they threw rubber bullets at them. They did with tear gas, let them on the ground, took away their mask and everything, and that's how it became violent. So I think that most of the things that like are like considered riots are things that other people start, because I believe that when you're there to protest and you have a common goal, then you're gonna only go for that goal. And some people, when they retaliate, when somebody like punches you in the throat or whatever, face, or irritates you, put on your mask, so stuff that you're gonna retaliate sometimes, Like you can try to stay strong all you want to, but sometimes you'll be pushed to a point where you're gonna want to retaliate. And that's kind of what happens, with riots. Riots don't always start off as riots. There's a certain like turning point in the game where it turns into a riot. Do I agree with them breaking people's stores? No. That's people's hard-earned, money. That's their business. That's their life. You know what I'm saying? So I video of a lady crying because people broke into her store. To everything, all her hard-earned work. That's her hard work. She worked hard for that. Exactly. And I don't agree with that part at all. But I think protest is a good way to have change. MLK, they marched. They all marched, through different kind of states and like that, right? I think when you march and you protest, you're making a change. You're getting your voice heard, and that's the point and purpose of protesting. So,
do you believe Christians should protest?
Actually, I do believe Christians should protest.
Yeah.
I think we should, because it's the same thing as standing up for our religion. That's the same thing. We're standing up for what we're believing. And I think if we're going about it the right way, we have a clear purpose, you have a clear, statement, before you go out there, you have a clear, understand what's going on, what you're marching for, then yes, I believe you can march. But you shouldn't support anything that does not support your Christian walk. So I'm saying, you can support the movement, but not the organizations. Those are two different things.
I feel like the moment it starts interfering with your faith,
you gotta go.
During the protesting, I feel like that should just be your sign that maybe you need to stop at that point.
Exactly. Because you want to make sure that you're getting your point across to God. You don't want anything. You're supposed to do everything, all the good works, and then glory to God. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But do everything you're supposed to do is supposed to be for God. So you can't be something, that is killing people and then yada yada and then cussing and then yada yada. You can't really mix the two. You can't mix Christ and culture.
Exactly. And just to tap on what y'all just said on how I feel about protesting, I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. Of course, if you have the good intentions behind it, but also I feel like some people are selfish when it comes to protesting. They be looting, with the thing after with George Floyd's death, everybody was going crazy. You feel me? And I feel like it became less about him and it became more about them. Right. If you over here going to Gucci stores, Target, after you do that, what type of thing are you doing? It's not, you're not to
I know. I'm just
no, I understand. Yeah. It's a Target, they could rebuild a Target. I understand that, but I'm just saying, doing all that type of stuff, I feel like it's not necessary, especially when the family had asked people not to do that, and people were still doing it. So at that point, you can't say, "Oh, we doing this for George Floyd." If the family is telling you, "Oh no, y'all not supposed to do this," because at the end of the day, this is not getting nobody voices heard.
I do want to say about that Target, because the police officers that came and sprayed tear gas in the protesters' faces, and Target refused to sell milk to the protesters. They refused to sell milk. That's when that raid has started in Target, because they were their eyes are burning, they're screaming, crying, there's children out there with tear gas in their eyes. Tear gas can be very dangerous if you don't treat it in time. And so they needed milk. And the closest store was Target. They couldn't go to a Walgreens or a Walmart because that wasn't around them. They had a Target, and Target was being Target and decided not to support that type of movement and did not want to give milk to protesters. So that's when that situation has started.
But they going in the stores and they stealing clothes, stealing purses, and it's now you're just trying to get free stuff. What are you doing? And I'm not gonna lie, it's not only black people doing that stuff. There's white people who've been going over there starting stuff just so that the police can come and start, attacking us black people. You feel me?
Exactly.
So it's just crazy. And then with do I believe Christians should protest? Of course, I feel like Christians should protest, because even God tells us that we should be a voice for those that are oppressed. And when I read that, I look at it as more of a white privilege thing.
Right.
We as the black people, we're the oppressors. We're the oppressed people. I meant. And then them, they're just more superior. You know what I'm saying? So they need to be a voice for us. And because, I seen this video of these, it was a whole bunch of cops, and it was white people standing in front of the black people so that the cops don't go and try to shoot them. You know what I'm saying? And I love to see videos like that. Those are the type of videos I love to see. I want to see people coming together and making change. And I'm not saying I feel like there's some white people that are just doing it just to post something on social media, oh, I'm not racist, where they're just doing it just to not be claimed as racist, but you have those that are actually doing it
you
with
have
the
all
right
those, you have all those celebrities, all those, like, you know, all your white celebrities. Right.
Exactly. George Floyd, that's when it became a trend, like, oh,
because everybody put out like those statements about how they support the Black lives, like all the like superstars or celebrities that you like, you know, like whatever, like Chris and Kylie and all them peoples, like they put out statements support the Black Lives Matter movement, and they did the Blackout Tuesday, you know, thing, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't, like, you know, lose their following. Exactly. I believe you're going to, like, support a movement and support the movement until it's, like, you know, done and out.
Exactly.
Don't post for Black Tuesday. It's the only thing you're going to do. The next day post about whatever. It's not how this goes. You have to keep the thing, you know, current. You can't just, like, oh, let it die out. Oh, yeah, I did that. I did my part. And I'm done. Yeah, I know I'm not racist.
Because they know, like, black, like,
that's how that works.
They have minorities who shop at their businesses, so they know if they don't say nothing, they're gonna lose money. That's why some of them are just like, oh, let me put a tweet out.
Are famous because of Black people.
Exactly.
We support them. They're famous because of us.
And that's another thing.
Black people, because of us.
No, sometimes I feel like Black people aren't willing to put a dime in other Black businesses. That's why I feel like some other like people that are white or whatever, they have a whole bunch of money. They stuff be $2,000, and then you have a Black person that's saying, okay, this purse is $50, $100. Oh my gosh, you're doing too much. But you're gonna go to Gucci and spend $2,000 on a purse.
Exactly.
Make it make sense. I never understood that.
I understand.
It's like keep the energy match.
I'm sorry. I can't.
At the end of the day, your actions should always be backing up your words.
Exactly.
If there's no actions, I don't need the words. That doesn't make it for me.
Exactly.
You know.
Because shoot, face that works is dead.
Exactly. So how do y'all feel when people are quick to bring up Black on Black crime? Do you feel like it's necessary to bring it up when we're speaking about like Black Lives Matter, or do you feel like, oh, it doesn't matter? Like,
I mean, I think all crime matters regardless. It's a crime, but I feel like the difference is when Black on Black crime. I don't think the whole issue is the crime itself. I think it's the fact that justice is not being served when the crime happens, you know? With Black on Black crime, there's many times that the person that's committing the crime is arrested, they're found guilty. And sadly for Black people, it's the justice system it works against them. And they're usually found guilty until proven innocent. Instead of innocent until proven guilty. So I don't think the issue is about the crime. I think it's about justice not being served when the crime happens, you know?
Right.
Especially when cops, they have this whole system that's backing them, one that goes against Black people. So it's hard to even think about like a cop killing a Black person and justice actually being served. That's the whole issue. So I don't think bringing up Black on Black crime is really a valid point, because it doesn't really go against it doesn't really go with what we're actually like fighting for, which is justice, equality. So
and enough to like back that what Ava said, Black on Black crime happens because the justice system fails. So usually what happens is somebody's family member or whatever gets like, you know, shot, or they have crime committed against them. Justice system doesn't like sweep under the rug, say, oh, we can't find anything that happened, yada yada. And so the family picks upon themselves. They're angry. They want like justice for their brother, sister, or whoever who got, you know, murdered or whatever. They take it into their own hands, and they go and commit a crime. The person who committed their crime against their like family. That's how that really works. And like it's just because it's all comes that down to like justice. Justice is not being served. And you're talking about Black on Black crime. Talk about white on white crime. I'm just saying. You talk about that, talk about white on white crime. Way more white on white crime happens, and Black on Black crime is not talked about at all. I just want to say.
No, but I feel like people be so quick to throw it in your face. Like, they're like, oh, okay, y'all preaching for Black Lives Matter. And I agree with that too. Like, and I feel like sometimes in the Black community, we just try to like speak about one thing, but hide away the fact about something else going on. If y'all understand what I'm saying. Like, we be so quick to say, oh, a police officer is killing us, this, that, and the third, but we're not speaking on Black and Black crime as well, if you understand.
Right, I get that, but well, with that, it's just like, they feel like they have no other choice. When you don't have certain options white people have. You can't go get a job at Publix or whatever. Whenever you want to get a job, you look a certain way, you can go get a job at Publix. You can't do that. And you can't get a job anywhere. You know, your stuff gets turned down. So they feel like, well, I need to provide for my family. I need to provide for myself. What I'm supposed to do? You know, my mom's struggling, whatever. This person's struggling. How I'm supposed to help my family survive? So they do what they have to do. I understand your hustle. I understand you have to do what you have to do to support your family. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like about talking about black crime. We know it happened. We know it's there.
Yeah, and
we're not
like gonna work on that too.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like give us opportunities so it won't be black on black crime. Yeah. If you give young black men, young black women more jobs, have more jobs given to them, then they won't have to be forced to turn to the streets. That's not how that goes. To have actual opportunities. Don't give them just football, dance, and cheerleading as a way out. Give them actual opportunities.
Exactly.
Like, no.
I
like that point.
The big root of the problem is just the justice system.
Exactly.
It's just it's
not
corrupt.
For us. Yeah.
So that way, sometimes it feels like there is no other way out.
So y'all do believe in systemic racism?
Yes, definitely. That's the thing. If you don't have a doctor by your name or affiliated with some high white person, you don't matter in America, and that's just the point blank period. You don't matter to people like Donald Trump. You don't matter to people like Lenny Kerr. You don't matter to people if you don't have a doctor by your name, a PhD by your name, or associated with people who are on high rankings, high white people in rankings. Like if you're not associated with Donald Trump, you don't matter. Not at all. If you're supporting a good cause like Black Lives Matter, you're not no, they're not. No. So. It's just systems like it's not made around us. They're not made for us. It's made to oppress us. That's what it's made for. And then the way like it's the beginning of time. Every law is made against us.
Exactly. And
except for like 3.
And until like they go and change stuff and get out of that mentality that it's equal, then it's gonna be like a cycle. Right. The thing with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, it's like Sandra Bland. It's like a cycle because I feel like people aren't not people, but it's people, like the white people that are put in the power, like the higher position, they're not willing to admit there's a problem. Right. There's a lot of people on the news saying, oh no, like it's equal. Black people, they're working. How could you say, it's equal? They're at school, they're going to school. How could you say this?
And that's pure ignorance. It's something that you see is happening in front of you, and it's turning a blind eye.
That's exactly.
Exactly. Right. You're not uninformed. You're just ignorant.
There's no excuses. There's no way you can say that it's not happening. It's happening. There's proof of it now.
Exactly. For sure. Exactly. Like you just that's what people say, like racism doesn't exist. And I look at them like, what? Do you not see what's going on in America? What are you talking about? Like it doesn't exist. Like I had a conversation with a guy. He was talking about the George Floyd situation, whatever, and he's talking about something. Oh, it wasn't a racist situation. A guy didn't kill him on purpose. There's no way possibly you can kill a guy sitting on somebody's neck. I did it before, and I'm just fine. So I looked at him. I was just like, did you not hear him say he couldn't breathe for 8 minutes? I'm sorry. Did you not watch the video and tell him repeatedly, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. If somebody is sitting on top of, if somebody's sitting like their knees on your neck, I know you have a carotid artery right here, stopping all the blood flow, and he's like, that's like how you breathe. That's like your throat. Like if you're on that, you cannot breathe. Somebody's choking you, you can't breathe. So look at him. I was just like, are you really like that ignorant to the fact that Black Lives Matter too? Like I'm just confused.
And it just shows you that even with evidence, we still don't have
justice. You have a whole video.
It's just you have a whole video.
Still can't see
they have to
breathe. You know what
they have to do all these autopsies and like, oh, he must have been sick. Oh, he must have been that.
And they have. Speaking of that, go ahead.
And it's like, no, Derek Chauvin or however you pronounce that police officer name with them other 4 others. Yeah. Like he killed him. And it shows you that the police, like, they have people for them. Like, this man was on a, like, $1 million something bond, and he got freed from that. Yeah. So it's just, like, officers feel superior. It's just, like, they know people. It's like, oh, okay, like, they have my back. It's going to be real hard to put me in jail.
There's always crooked cops all down the justice system.
Like, they just get fired. That's the most they could get.
I think it was just something because they saw how much
backlash
how much backlash and how much like the country was like literally torn to pieces. So it's just something I think to just shut us up. So listen, you guys wanted him arrested, we arrested him. Don't ask for anything else.
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't care about when people were like rejoicing, oh, he got arrested. I'm like, okay, yeah, but he's gonna get convicted though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If the charge is gonna stay and be upheld, he's gonna have a trial. That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about forget arrest. No, is he gonna be put in jail or put in prison for murder? It shouldn't be no first. It shouldn't be no second. It should be first degree murder.
So this is the end of part 1. So stay tuned for part 2.
Bye.
Bye.